own intelligence inside of you. You came here to live something more than being imprisoned. And so let's talk about it. Let's like make an action step and then see what happens. Do an experiment, just tiny, and see. And if the dream has to die, then let it die. I get that. I've had a lot of dreams have to die. But what I've learned is that the dream will continue to call if it needs to, and especially in the name of freedom.
Mm-hmm. Well, and it's like pulling you.
It's so pulling.
Yeah, and if you're fighting against that, saying no because of whatever reason, you're going to feel that all the time. And what's the point of living like that?
Yeah. One of the things that a lot of masters and mentors say is you get to make the decision before you see it. So they say it all different wonderful ways, but I'll say it in my own experience of I get to say I have decided to live this dream. I've committed to it. And then take, 2 steps in that direction, and then life will rush in, even just if it feels like a whisper. And I'll go and live that dream as soon as I have the money. There's a lot of wisdom to that, for sure. But then you might get the same position that I was in, where then the money runs out. So then, who are you in that moment? Will you continue to lean in, even if there is no savings and all of your logic is saying go back to something that is known? Then the dream will continue to call, and what are you going to do then? And then you find all of this strength inside of you after the panic attack.
Yeah. And that's important to know, that you will feel uncomfortable things while, just in life, just in general. You're going to feel uncomfortable if you're not following your dream. You're going to feel uncomfortable sometimes when you are, because it's something new and you're starting out and it's unknown. And unknown is kind of uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But is your known comfortable? Like, how comfortable is your known? If it's completely comfortable, just stay there. If it's not, I mean, I feel that being stuck for me is way more uncomfortable than the fear of the unknown.
Oh, so much.
Because once you actually experience that, but like, you're like, it does feel fearful, but I do feel free as well. And I do feel like strong and brave and like all these like positive feelings that I feel about myself. Like I feel proud of myself.
Yeah.
And that is the biggest feeling. And then you can overcome them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, in you doing this, you're helping people with their music and stuff, but you're also helping people with your influence, saying, look, yes, it was scary, I feel that too, but I did it anyways. I pushed through that and I came out the other side, and now you're about to go on tour again. Tell us about that.
Yeah. So far, it's taking me to 14 countries.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Performed some amazing experiences. Here's an example of how the flow happens. Everybody knows that traveling is expensive. I don't know all the ways that it even happened that I got to go to 14 countries, but it did, and I said yes. And being in the flow brought me to some of my favorites. I got to perform on a rooftop in Athens, Greece.
Oh.
And it just so happened, so I knew I was going to Greece, and it just so happened that the night that I was staying at this Airbnb, we looked in and we saw that there was this venue, like a rooftop venue, and I asked, wow, I'd love to get you a performance maybe for your guests. And she said, it just so happens that the nights that you're here, I'm hosting a birthday party for my friend. Do you want to be the live entertainment for it? So now there's 30 people, there's candles, there's balloons, there's a plate, plates of food for everyone. They set up a microphone, and now I have a ready-made audience on a rooftop under the stars in Athens, Greece. What?
Wow.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
And afterwards we danced, and I got to give my whole Dream Walk concert. I got to share this passion of mine, and it served them. It was so amazing. I was just amazed that the flow would take me there. A couple other just highlights. This is also something I've learned. Like when I went to Jerusalem, I didn't get the chance to actually even bring my guitar because I was being a nanny, and so I just knew that my hands would be full with 2 little kids. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to do a performance in Israel, but I can't even bring my guitar. So full on trust that if I get to perform in Israel, then there will be a guitar there. and fully just committed. And that's something I want to just say resolutely is when I am completely in commitment, I get to commit to the highest good, whatever the highest good gets to be. If the highest good is that I do a performance or not, like surrender or give up to that. And so in my last day in Jerusalem, or the 24 hours before I was leaving, a new friend of mine said, "What are you doing?" I'd love to host a concert. Within 24 hours, we had a Facebook thing up in Hebrew, which was an amazing thing. Emily Potter in Hebrew. I'm like, what is my world right now? And he's one of the social hubs of Jerusalem, so everybody knows that if he says something, you want to be there. So he got the word out. This one man came from like an hour and a half bus ride to come see me perform.
Wow.
Because of this man that I met. And then he happened to have a venue. It was his backyard that was his beautiful garden. And we had like 20 people there, full potluck in Jerusalem, under the stars. I mean, come on!
And someone brought a guitar.
Someone brought a guitar! They said, oh, you can just use this guitar. I'm like, bring, and the show begins. Pretty amazing. So this time, I am going coast to coast. From San Diego, I'm now in Utah, but San Diego, I did a ceremony on the Pacific Ocean, and going 6 months with my sister, we're going to be going across all of the southern states and going to Florida, and then we're going to come back again and then end in Salt Lake City and have a grand finale around the holidays.
Oh, fun.
Yeah! Is there anything particular you wanted to know? Because I could talk about this forever. I'm pretty excited about it.
Well, just what you have to say. Just keep
Oh, really?
going.
Okay. Yeah, this one I've gotten really clear where my greatest joy lies and who I want to sing to. So I'm always singing to dreamers. Dreamers, 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 dreamers. The dreamer in you, the dreamer in me. I believe in your dreams. I'm passionate about that. That's my message. And because it's so wide open, I will find a dreamer every time I wake up in the morning. Whether there's a dreamer who is pursuing their dream, resting from their dream, heartbroken from their dream, resting, jaded because of a dream, cynical. I mean, everybody's a dreamer, but we're all on different journeys of where on that walk. And I have decided that my favorite people that I get to really support are world changers, and also who I call light workers. Light workers, world changers, people who are, and healers, all kinds of healers who are ready and who are living their dream to bring humanity and rise. And they are the ones that I've dedicated this tour to. So across the United States, I'm going to be gathering light workers, world changers, and I particularly want to sing to the intelligence of their dream, because these, I've already told this to a couple of healers, and one started to almost cry because I get it. I'm a healer as well. I'm a light worker. I'm a world changer, and you are too. You deserve me singing to you for you to feel inspired to keep going. Mm-hmm. You're the one actually going and doing it, and there are a lot of people who are on that path who are just starting out. The capacity of the depth that I'm able to go in to really support those who are out there doing it, that's who I want to dedicate this tour to. Mm-hmm. And gather. I want us to gather in these yoga studios and these retreat centers and spiritual dedicated spaces. We look at each other, and I get to immerse them into this place of receiving my gift of my song and to sing to their dream. So one of the really exciting parts that I'm doing as well is I'm partnering with a lot of businesses that also use alternative economic models. So I've already been in touch with lots of cafes who are doing pay what you can. There's a theater in Houston who's doing the same. People who are very forward thinking in how we're looking at money, so that we can gather our resources as a network. And I'm putting those logos together on my website. I'm going to be being able to bring their logos with me across the United States, so people say like, wow, Emily's not just out there doing this thing by herself. There are thousands of people who are really dedicated to seeing money as a free flowing resource, that it's not scarce. This is a whole new way of really connecting with each other. So that's who I've identified, who I'll sing to, the alternative models of these businesses, and they're really excited to host me, and I'm excited to play for those audiences, and also the light workers and world changers and healers who deserve to have a dedicated evening for themselves.
Oh, that's so wonderful.
Yay!
That is so awesome. I'm so excited for you.
And they're my favorite people to talk to.
Me too. Me too. Well, and that is so synchronized with my goals, is that I'm trying to find people just like that, and then get them on camera and interview them and get their personalities and their stories and their goals out there, try to help them succeed as well. So that's awesome. Like, you're meeting all these people, and you can be like, hey, Cindy, that person over there. Go interview them.
That's awesome. Yeah.
I would love that. And just a gathering of people like that, oh, that would be the funnest for me. Because other people don't understand me. They're like, you're doing what? I'm like, yeah, I'm not trying to get a job. I'm doing this. This is what I'm supposed to do. And they're like, but you need like this, you need to do this and this and this. I'm like, actually, this is working out for me. The universe will rearrange the whole, all of eternity to make sure. And I feel like if you're helping people and they have a guardian angel or anything, their guardian angels are trying to help you too, because they need you.
Yeah.
Like, everyone that you're ever going to help, they're pulling you towards them.
Yeah, it's true.
That's way stronger than, oh, I've got $10 for that cab ride. It's like, well, that person's destiny's calling me, so a bus will appear. I don't know, you know?
Yeah.
Like I'll get there. I don't need to worry about the little parts. Just following the pull.
Yeah.
And you are just living that.
Yeah, and so even just what you said, I continue to receive this message, and others also are receiving this message, that where we're going as a planet, where the collective consciousness is taking us, is that anything that is not rooted in joy is crumbling. Mm-hmm. And that's a significant sentence. That means that when I wake up in the morning, I might have obligations, but it's worth it to take a moment to look at it, to get grounded, to feel where is the joy in this. And so you'll hear lots of people talk about this, probably more than ever. I've heard more and more, even doing those mundane tasks of life that we don't love, there is joy available there. If we think that there isn't, then maybe take a moment and do something else before coming into that space again with a new refreshment of, there is joy here. Mm-hmm. I have the opportunity to either receive it or to not. And so that there's this pattern, and there's this element of making a habitual life of joy. And I'd even say ease. Now that's a big one, because I'm a really hard worker and I really value hard work. And sometimes I'd say that that's not easy, but it becomes easy when there's the joy of the work that I'm tapping into. And that's a practice. I haven't mastered that one yet, but that's what I'm dedicating this tour to, is that there is hard work, and there's nothing, actually that's a value that I hold really strong. But it's the game that I'm playing, that every moment gets to be asked, where is the joy? And so I want to talk to light workers. I actually am taking it a little bit selfishly too, to receive from these light workers who've been doing their work. And I get to give for sure, but I'm definitely like, oh my gosh, I have so much to learn from you. Mm-hmm. Where have you been mastering your life that I get to learn from as well? I want that energy, because I have so much work to do in this lifetime. Mm-hmm. And I deserve to have people who have done their inner work as much as I have, and that we get to help rise each other up.
Because their inner work is a little bit different.
Exactly.
And their story is a little different.
Exactly.
Woo, so you just like get together and like rub off on each other.
Yeah.
And like just being in the room with you right now, I can feel like oh yeah, like my dreams. Like I'm just like I got this all this momentum going now.
Yeah. And I'll tell you again, especially my honors with women who have children. There's I don't have children right now, and I intend to, and I'm scared of it. I'm scared because one of the most important things about the dialogue around dreams is that sometimes you get to put your dreams on the shelf because you have this other dream in front of you of being a navigator of who are you in the world, little boy, little girl. Like I get to, your dream is just as important as mine. So then mine maybe gets to be dusty on the shelf for 20 years. You don't know. You don't know.
I can see that.
Yes, you can. And so you're doing something different because even you're saying,
because they chose you.
they
They didn't
know that.
They didn't just happen to get you. And what you can't tell what their dreams are. So they chose you. They chose your dream. They're gonna come with you.
And
Bring them along.
One of the, thank you for saying that. That says so much about you. What I say all of this as kind of like a humble bow to parents, because I don't know what that feels like to be a full-time mom. So I'm in no way expert. So I'll just say that, all the precursor. I do believe, though, that we deserve to show our children what it looks like to pursue a dream.
Yeah, that's our obligation.
Yeah, so that that we release any resentment of, well, I had you, so I didn't get to live my dream. Like, let's let go of that and let your children see it modeled. This is what it looks like. Well, then that means you're spending maybe less time with your kids, explaining to them, showing, letting them be part of it as much as possible. This is what we do as humans. We pursue our dreams. And in our family, that's our culture. Our culture is that we pursue dreams. What are your dreams? What are your dreams? What are my dreams? This means that we spend less time with each other on this day and this day of the night. But we figured it out because we're creating tribe. So that means you're going to Auntie Emily, for once a week or whatever. You just have the dialogue of the possibilities. And so then these little children grow up and say, oh yeah, as humans, we release and let go of limitations to pursue our dreams. That's what my mom taught me. That's what my dad taught me. That's what I saw in my community. Okay, let's do that. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Well, you have to get a job that pays well. Not in our culture, not in our family. That's what the neighbors are doing. But in our culture, in our family, we're ready to do whatever it takes for our dreams. What is your heart saying? Mm-hmm. And imagine the gift that you're giving to your kids for that. So even if that's not all the way correct, there's something about it that does spark some sort of truth enough to continue the conversation about it.
Well, and I feel so strongly that when you are living your dream, you will be, maybe not at first, but eventually you will be more secure financially and stuff than doing anything else, because people can feel your passion. They can feel that you love what you're doing, and it's coming from such a loving, organic place that it's going to be authentic. It's going to be just you. It's just going to be the perfect thing for you to give to the world, and the world will eventually start making that your stability.
And I'll say, I've had people critique that because there's a lot of evidence that contrasts what you just said, that people following their dreams and they become bankrupt. Like that, those are all real things too. And so what you and I are saying is actually quite naive. Live your dreams and everything will be fine. I just want to say that I would rather choose naive than being jaded and cynical. Yeah. It's a choice every day. And I've continued to be put in positions, I've put myself in positions that cultivate that cynicism in me. And over and over and over again, it's like taking a sledgehammer, because I look like everything is effortless and easy. I do that on purpose. That's a full-on ceremony. Mm-hmm. It's a choice pretty much every day, because if you know humans at all, I am not susceptible to be completely cynical, and I've completely had my heart broken over and over and over again, and it would be really easy to look and say, oh wow, well, it's working out for her, but it wouldn't for me. It's a choice every day with a sledgehammer to take off the edges so that I continue to be naive and believe that I have to believe, otherwise my whole life has no purpose, that I will continue to be taken care of. And that's why it's so important for me to get really comfortable with being uncomfortable, because that's it. It happened, one of my favorite stories to tell is I was homeless just for a night with $2 in my pocket in New York City. I was homeless because my host said, I actually can't host you tomorrow, I have this emergency happening, and so I have to kick you out. And then I didn't have anywhere else to go because my other host couldn't have me yet. And so I'm a very good planner. I'm totally planner, schedule of like, where I can be. And I now didn't know, I had to pack my bags and I didn't know where I was gonna go. And I'm walking the streets and I'm hungry because I don't take things that people aren't able to offer. So I'm not like a mooch. Oh my gosh, I've been petrified of being a mooch. That's a really great way to start that dialogue. If you want to do, what's the difference between gift economy and being a mooch? That's like I'm passionate about that. That was one of the scariest walks of my life, is walking through the streets of New York, not knowing what I was going to eat, $2 in my pocket, very uncomfortable. And who am I in that moment? Is there joy available in that moment? And I've put myself in positions where I do not have the luxury of being cynical in that moment. It's too late. I'm there. Mm-hmm. Do I call home for help? Who am I in that moment? And then in that moment, I'm very proud of myself to say that I found the joy, and I used $2 to go get a piece of pizza for $1 each, and had 2 pieces of pizza, and I made it through the night with joy and trust and gratitude. And the next morning, a friend of mine who didn't know that I had one of the hardest nights of my life, she said, hey, if you were in my town, I would take you out to lunch. And so here's $20. So my 2 almost, multiplied into 20, and then I got to get some groceries for the rest of the week with $20. And so being uncomfortable, so that naivete, being naive.
Yeah.
Being naive serves me, because I feel like that's something that people can really look at me and be critical of. She's so naive, and I choose it every moment. I want to be the biggest, most brightest child, and I've committed to my inner child, committed to her. She wants to play, she wants to dance, she wants to sing, and she doesn't want to care what you think about it. Mm-hmm. And she's not interested in being cynical as a habit. I certainly visit that space once in a while, but yeah.
Well, I don't look upon that situation as all negative, because how many strengths did you gain from that? And for me, that's the most valuable thing. And comfort is way less valuable than strength and lessons, and just being like, I went through it. I can have no place to sleep and be fine. I can have no food and be fine. That is 2 of our biggest fears, and you conquered them at once.
I was hungry for 6 weeks. I did hunger. Sometimes I only had 1 potato a day. Wow. Because I was believing the whole starving artist thing. And I wasn't only a starving artist, I was an artist living in a gift economy. So I had to weed through all of that. I'm like, wait a second. If I really create my reality, I don't want this reality. But it took me 6 weeks, slowly going down into hunger. But then there was the part where I have to be frugal. And I'm a big believer of being frugal. I feel like millionaires know that. So we're not just wasteful. There's a balance. People find it for themselves. But I did the frugality thing and the scarcity thing, and it brought me to hunger. And then I just decided that I was done with hunger. I was just done. I could continue to go down and learn a lot of lessons, but there was about a time right about there before I went too deep, because you can find out who you are when you're really, really hungry, and you become animal, I decided I didn't want to learn that one. I wanted to learn just enough to go under some of the biggest fears that we have as humans, and then I wanted to get out of it.
Well, that was a very conscious decision for you as well.
I want to share, in that moment when I was taking that scary walk in New York, I remember part of the joy that I tapped into. I said out loud, even, I probably look like a crazy person walking the streets of New York. I said, I'm tapping this will be a story that I tell someday. And there it is again, where I'm tapping into humanity, where humanity said, yeah, and we want to hear this story someday. And so, ooh, I'm getting chills. So I thought, I was imagining, and my thoughts then turned to being on stage and telling the $2 pizza story. And so people who've ever been to my concert, they've heard me tell that story over and over and over again, because it saved me, that I was going to make it into a story someday. And that there I was tapping into and leaning into humanity and the gift that I would be receiving from that moment.
Mm-hmm. And like, this too shall pass. That whole, like, it is hard right now, but I have a place to stay tomorrow, or I have, there is food coming, there is goodness for me out there. And instead of focusing on the lack of the present, changing your focus onto that, like, that's a lesson people could do pretty much any time of any day.
Yeah. With that, in addition, this is a crazy one when I figured this one out. I'm still figuring this one out all the time, but I'm learning. It's almost like, gotta hold on to something to say this. I'm more powerful than any system.
Mm-hmm.
No one told me that. In fact, I'm hearing the opposite of that all the time. I'm more powerful than my bills. I'm more powerful than the mortgage. What am I even saying? That's loco talk. You have to pay your mortgage or you're going to lose your house. You better pay your bills or your electricity will be turned off. But what if I eliminated the fear around that? And that's some of the work that I've been doing, and I will not go into that whole story, but it's been years of that. I'm more powerful than any system. And the system wants us to not know that. And I'm not anti-system. Systems keep us safe and secure. I'm really not doing that work. But just knowing that I'm actually more powerful than the system is, I walk around as an empress, serving. That's a whole other way of interfacing with everyone. It's a remarkable thing. So I have a lot I can say about that, but I'm not going to. That's enough for right now. I'm pretty excited about that in a very, very sweet, like, sacred ground way.
Well, what would have to happen for one of those things to disappear? You could accidentally be deleted by a worker at your electric company, and they could forget that they're giving you power. And you could get free power for the rest of your life. Something so minute could happen.
The system.
To just, someone could lose the paperwork and you're not paying your mortgage anymore and no one notices.
Here's a great example, is late fees.
Mm-hmm.
My friend talked about late fees as if, like, you've seen like cattle who have like the ring in their nose. Mm-hmm. The late fee is like pulling you because you don't, it's a slap on the lip. Don't have a late fee. You're bad. You didn't give us the money in time when we said it was right. Well, I told you, I made a commitment that I would pay my bills, but the late fee is funny because we don't want to, because bad, don't do it. We're more powerful than you. So what I did, because I've had some late fees, I called them and said, I am so excited that I get to give you my late fee today. My own spirit of it was, it's a gift. I'm giving you $50. I'm so excited because the energy then is changed around it, so that now I'm more powerful because I am giving it in joy. And that was a huge moment for me. Wait a second, it's my money to give. I'm giving it to you anyway, so the energy around it can shift. So I'm not having a bad day. I'm having a great day. So I'm free. Ha! And because I don't have scarcity around money, it's always coming. It's a free flowing resource. Giving you $50, even if I'm giving it to some system somewhere, I bless this $50 late fee. Thank you so much for the opportunity to give it to you. I'm now liberated. And I know this might be funny for someone to hear, like, what? But the whole point of it is to live, at least for me, is to live in joy. And I truly felt the joy, especially if I'm talking to someone and they become a person. Like, hey, Dwayne, this is Emily. How are you today? And not being too cheesy,
Yeah.
You can go overboard with it, but like, well, I hope you have a really good day. And my spirit of it is different. So it's not just like this drudgery going through. So
Well, and it changes that person's day for
Yeah.
sure. They don't get that.
Ripple.
Yep.
Yeah.
And well, and you're taking your power back. You're saying, I'm not forced to do this right now. I'm deciding to do this.
I've chosen to have a late fee today because I'm learning and I'm in an experiment that I have no idea about. and you're part of my experiment. Thank you so much. I'd like to release any scarcity around money. Thank you for the opportunity to give you a late fee today.
You know, I heard something interesting the other day, that money is a spirit. Because it's been around so long that it now has like its own energy and own momentum. And I thought about it like that, and I was like, hey, money, like you're out there, you're almost your own entity. And to change my mindset on that, and I just keep getting money since then. I was just like, come here, come hang out with me, like, hey buddy. And I just like keep getting money in random places, or like getting things for free. And it's just, I don't know, just changing your mindset on things. That's all it takes to change your whole life.
Yeah, you're so spot on. People should listen to you. What you just
That's
said,
what I think.
yeah, and I'm telling you, I'm saying it on camera. They should listen to you. What you just said consistently. So like that thought is a really good thought for someone listening to this right now. Consistently doing that. I have such a sweetness with money. My relationship with money is so sweet. We are almost lovers.
Did you ever feel negative about it and had to change that?
Yeah, it was scarce. Mm-hmm. It's scary. It only comes from your job. That's where the source of abundance is your job, which then I had to release that. And it's not. Even if people have full-time jobs, your source is not the job. It's source going through the job to give it to you, and that's what you've chosen. Great, but it's not limited there, and I'm proving that to myself. And that's, I have to tell you, this whole experiment has not been for anyone to do anything different. It's just been me, and if it happens to be inspirational for whatever you get to do, then do it. Right on. Like I get to play that role, and I'm stepping into that to be a public figure so that people can learn for themselves if they want. But I'm not teaching anything. I'm pretty resolved for that. I'm not teaching anything anywhere, but I am interested in releasing my scarcity thoughts around money because I know that I'm an empress. I just know it. I came here with my birthright. I'm claiming my birthright. And that means limitless, infinite wealth in all ways, money, finances of all kinds, relationships, people, resources, networking, like all of it. I get to have it all.
Yep, you do.
Highs, lows, learning. I'm going to live big and wild. Mm-hmm. So I proved that to myself, and I'm ready to go bigger with my games, and I've proven that too.
Well, and I feel that for you.
Thank you.
I feel that like your concerts are just going to get bigger and bigger, and I don't know how your foundation works, but people can donate to your foundation, right? So that it goes to your travels and everything. Yeah,
so I make it really easy to give to me because I'm such a good receiver now. But I want to say before I say that, I am interested in going bigger because I know that my influence is a possible inspiration.